Hi, I'm Rebecca Harris, and welcome to this edition of Faces and Places. I'm so excited because we have a very special event coming up, and I have two very special people here to tell us about it, Steve Pace and Pat Waldrop. And it is about the Festival of the Arts. It's the first annual Festival of the Arts. So, Steve, tell us all about it.
On February the 1st, from 2 to 4:30 in the afternoon over at Central High School, all of Phoenix City schools and our arts programs from across the school system, every discipline, every age, are going to gather together in one place, performing samples and presenting samples of their work from across the fall and anticipating the events of the spring that are coming up as well, and sharing it together in one festival, a kaleidoscope, if you will, a panorama of putting all of our arts, visual and performing, in the same place within a limited time frame, so that the entire community and all the students get to share and hear and see all of the work that's being done across the system from the younger ages up. So we're excited to bring the children together, their families, and we certainly hope that families and parents will be there to join in and supporting their children, but being aware of what all the other children are doing and in all age groups. So we'll be hearing the band, the choir, the theater as performing arts, but that special performing art, the culinary arts, will be there as well. And we've all learned to appreciate Chef John and the work that the culinary arts are doing, and of course the Bistro Cafe, which you all should know about, because their work has been all over Phoenix City, catering for special events. But that's another student art organization inside the work of Phoenix City Schools. All of that is coming together from 2 to 4:30 on Saturday afternoon, February the 1st. And we just like to get the word out to the community in general to encourage you and invite you to come support and get acquainted with what our children are doing. And quite frankly, you would be encouraged just for you to be there. It's free, it's fun, it's informal, and except for a brief time when we all come together to celebrate what this event can mean for the first annual Festival of the Arts, it'll be all over the cafetorium and down the halls where you'll hear performing groups on side stages, but the full center of the cafetorium will present visual arts from framed to 3D all throughout the room. You'll have strolling gallery opportunities, just an informal time to celebrate the arts, to enjoy the arts, get acquainted with our artists, and support Phoenix City Schools and what our children are doing and how they're growing through the arts in our public schools.
Well, I think this is so exciting, and everyone out there, I really want to encourage you to come and attend this because there are so many talented children in this area. You know, I used to work for Parks and Rec, and so we would see the children coming through the recreation centers, and some of the artwork that they did was just incredible. And you know, there's so many music programs out there that people are not aware of that the community, you can come out and watch the children when they perform. And if we wanted to find out more about when these things are happening on a year-round basis so that the community can come out and support that, how would they find out?
The Phoenix City Board of Education website, Facebook, and other school sites will help promote the local event opportunities that specific schools and programs are doing. But a comprehensive summary of those events are going to be a part of the festival. And we hope to be providing written material and an additional Facebook component that will list upcoming events so that the community can continue to be aware of what's coming and where in the arts, and to not miss such things as when is the elementary school grade level production, when is the next arts gallery presentation,
right.
The next Encore Productions performance, band concerts, choir concerts. These things are generally free or at a nominal cost, supporting these organizations and our students. They've worked hard to prepare and present. They deserve our support, and I think that we as a community, not to mention parents and families, will be impressed just to hear and see what our children are doing and help encourage them even to be their best and do more.
I think
Yeah.
so too. And sometimes, we're looking for something to do, especially as a family, that is affordable and fun.
Exactly.
And this could mean something for both sides.
Yes.
So I want to encourage you guys to get that calendar and find out exactly what's going on in the community and jump in there and support it.
Of course, that starts with this focus on February the 1st,
Yes.
just a Saturday afternoon where you can get introduced to everything that's going on in the arts in Phoenix City Schools, and from that point have access and have channels where to find the information you need to be a part in attending the other events that follow.
So when you started to plan this, how did this all come about?
The idea of a fine arts initiative actually grew out of an ongoing conversation that I had with Superintendent Wilkes several years ago as he began surveying and strategizing the work that could be done in Phoenix City Schools. But the idea of a festival actually began amongst some of the high school faculty some years ago, and in their informal conversations of what would be good for our students and how could we go about presenting them. So as my conversations with Mr. Wilkes and the opportunities I've had to get acquainted with and support the faculty, particularly in the high school and in South Girard, is simply to be aware of what they're doing and to hear some of the hopes for programming and presentation that they had already imagined. And it's my honor to get to pull things together in a common discussion that includes some community stakeholders. And I'm so very proud of the folks in our community that I think you'll see on the slide that's presented here of the community stakeholders that began meeting back in August and September. And actually, God bless them, on what is really relatively short notice of 6 months, they jumped in to help support us and to help us find sponsors for this event, which was off budget, not on the books. It's an additional contribution to the fine arts program here in the school system. So it's the first time it's ever been done. First annual, we're working ourselves through how to do it. But these community stakeholders have helped us promote, network, and acquire some sponsorships. And I'd like to thank West Rock for being the lead sponsor and first out of the gate and with the largest contribution, along with others, including our local CTV Beam and the Heritage Agency. And I'd like to acknowledge Ms. Pat Waldrop for her early and active support, not only of the Fine Arts Initiative, but the arts everywhere. And of course, you see her at every football game and every kind of activity in Phoenix City Schools. But Pat was also a student participant in the arts when she was here in Phoenix City Schools and at Central High School.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to just call on her for a brief word about what the arts have meant to her, particularly in our schools.
Oh my goodness, I love the arts. Phoenix City Schools has always offered great art programs, whether it be the bands, the glee clubs. We called them glee clubs back when I was in school, not choral groups, but glee clubs. And art classes. We've always had wonderful, fine, talented people come out of our city and our community, and some of them have gone on to make a lot of money.
That's right.
Indeed, we've had some great examples of that, not just in the athletics, but in the arts,
That's
in
right.
the performing arts.
That's right.
And I would love for the community to come and hear in one afternoon 3 choirs, 3 bands, a jazz ensemble, a snippet of what's coming in theater in the spring, a review of what some of the other schools have done this fall. And also South Girard is going to bring a summary of the Black History Celebration preview that they'll be doing later in February as an annual tradition there. It is a wonderful opportunity to come to one place to survey everything that's going on and realize that would be a great encouragement and support to helping our students just become better, to be even more devoted and committed to being their very best, not only in the arts, but as students and citizens, giving back. And
Right.
what a wonderful thing for us to do to encourage them to be their very best. And I know we do it at football games and baseball games, and I'm proud of that and glad to be there. And just to realize that a large number of our kids are interested and involved in the arts, and they need the same kind of encouragement and support to help them be their best. And on to various competitions and other platforms where they get to experience the challenges of the arts and have opportunity to exceed and excel. And this is another way that we provide our children that opportunity.
And the funding is not always there for all of these things, and so sometimes it would be very beneficial for the community to know how we can contribute to help these children to reach their goals. Say if a family needs a little bit of help getting their child to a competition, or if they need a little help getting their band uniform, or little small things like that. Is there a way that the community can step in and help with that?
Yes, in fact, this very activity is an opportunity for us, first of all, to help support elementary visual arts and elementary music education. But we are glad to help channel any interested persons to the specific organizations that they would like to assist. Band boosters are always fundraising.
Yes.
and glad to support. Phoenix City Schools through the Fine Arts Initiative is glad to channel contributions to the theater program or to the choral program in just directly to those accounts, that they don't have to go through any external finance system. We just help channel them directly through Phoenix City Schools to the area that they want to support. And there are plenty of opportunities. There are trips coming up for the band this spring, for the choirs. The theater Encore Productions will be off to a competition again soon. All of these organizations include children with a diverse economic background, a number of Title I and lower income families who deserve
That's right.
additional support from the community. I mean, nothing can be better than to have a child out of a home that's supporting their growing and reaching forward, to have community support for the financial means to simply help make those opportunities possible.
That's right.
And I can't tell you enough what those things meant to me growing up and searching out my dreams in music and theater, to have that kind of support from the community that made it possible for us to go and learn and grow on the big stage.
Right.
We look around the world these days in education to compare and contrast the potential of our students. The arts is a way to do that, and helping our kids get out into the world and venture under these kind of academic and controlled environments to reach success through the arts is just one way in which they can see what the platform of their future is like.
That's right, and it's such a positive way for them to express themselves, and the talent that they have. If they don't have the opportunity to express it in a positive way, sometimes they wind up getting in a little bit of trouble because they're frustrated. So it's so important for us to get behind them as a community, and like you said, this is the beginning of their platform for the rest of their life with the talent that they have. And I know for a fact, when I was in high school and I was singing an all-state choir, we had so many sports events going on, and the music program was kind of getting pushed to the side. And then all of a sudden, here we were all stars for a short little while, and it meant so much because we rehearsed every day, we learned our music, we were disciplined, and we did all of those things. But to have the community come out to our little pep rally for our choir, I'll never forget that. And so that gave me a hunger for wanting to perform out in the community and use my talents for for God and for also to establish other young people and mentor them. And it's just been just a wonderful, wonderful ride with music and the arts. So I'm so excited that y'all are going to be doing this festival. And Steve, is there any other things that you'd like to tell us about this?
I would. I just want to connect that as educators around the world are studying how to better serve students, we're realizing that the creative learning through the arts helps even the best of our young minds to integrate creative problem solving in a way that helps them to engage issues that may not even existed 10 years ago, but to develop the strategies and the thinking and the creative process to be problem solvers and leaders into the future. And there's a mission behind that amongst our fine arts initiative. We call it E4. The first E is to encourage participation, to encourage our students, to expand opportunities in Phoenix City schools for our students to grow through the arts, to elevate and increase the rigor and the expectations as a loving, nurturing encouragement, more so than a demand, but to persistently and consistently look for ways to include every student in Phoenix City schools in some opportunity to engage the arts, because it's a part of their education to be community problem solvers, to be integrated right brain, left brain thinkers, going forward into their future success.
And also the socialization is so important, because these days kids are so involved in tech things.
Yes.
And they're not talking to each other, they're emailing and texting everything. But when you are singing or making art or being with a group of people who are marching in a band, that is just a wonderful level of socialization that I think is so important in our community.
I should have emphasized that more. That is exactly and what we should add to this is an opportunity for kids to work together for a greater good as an effective team, but as to have that social dynamic that's working forward, moving forward as a team.
And even the most shy child comes out of their shell when they learn to get out there and perform in front of people, and it just boosts their confidence in ways that you might not be able to get to them if you didn't provide these services for them in the classroom.
Well, I will have to add that our Phoenix City drum major was in the 9th grade a shy, reserved child who just knew she loved to play the flute. Okay. And our marching band has provided her the opportunity to discover herself, leadership opportunities, social dynamics, to grow as a person, to build friends, to grow in leadership, and then to have this opportunity, which I know is rare and she is grateful to have, to be out in front of a great marching program and to represent Central High School. That's the perfect example of how a wonderful socialization through the arts has helped her already to become a more expressive, a fuller personality, and enjoy herself even more. I wanted to mention a key word for something we can focus on in the socialization and the performance, and that is to teach and model respect.
Right.
Respect for each other, respect for the performers, respect for the music, and to recognize the need to learn how to acknowledge and respect moments and opportunities that are bigger than us as individuals, and to willingly and deliberately invest ourselves in something bigger than ourselves. And I want to just identify that there's a particular example of a faculty person in our history who is taught respect, modeled respect, and created a healthy respect for the fine arts some years ago when Miss Pat was a student, and that was Mrs. Register, who led the glee clubs and the theater program back then. And
she did.
At I would say 2:30 in the afternoon on this event, I'd like to have a Mrs. Register remembrance time. I do want to invite folks to gather around the table to bring some mementos and to join Pat and to reflect on and just share some memories of that great time. And Miss Pat, would you tell us a little bit more about Miss Register and your experience?
I'd be glad to. Ms. B.F. Register was our Glee Club instructor back in the 50s and 60s. And she had a son who was at Fort Benning, stationed at Fort Benning, General Register, General Ben Register. And I think General Register died a couple of years ago, but Ms. Register was such an influence in so many lives back in the 60s. And we still have got a lot of Glee Club members out there who were in her Glee Club at Central High School, and they all remember her well, and they attribute many successes in their life to Ms. Register, her leadership qualities. She was kind, sweet, but you respected her. She demanded respect, and she got it. She was just awesome, but she was a wonderful, wonderful choral director. And it's teachers like Ms. Register that influence our children's lives, and I just can't say enough wonderful things about Ms. Register. She was just an awesome, awesome lady, sweet, gentle, kind, small in stature, but we thought she was mighty big.
Well, and she was in many lives, just like some of our current faculty who are continuing to work with our students in
That's
Phoenix
true.
City Schools, are making a difference where they are now. And we look forward to times when alumni of those programs will gather and reflect and contribute back. And so that's what I'm suggesting, is that this might be a fun opportunity for the students of the Register era to not only remember Miss Register and come and maybe bring some mementos and talk and reflect, but take this as an opportunity to come and be a part of the Festival of the Arts and honor that past by investing in the present and incurring the future. So the Festival of the Arts, again, is Saturday, February the 1st from 2 to 4:30 p.m. It'll be at Central High School and in the cafetorium, but it reaches out all across the Phoenix City school system. Every school will be represented in some way. Every arts discipline will be included, and it is a great opportunity to get a survey of what we're doing and for the children to be encouraged by you being there. So the doors will open at 2, and there'll be events in the auditorium and around the cafetorium, a visual arts gallery all over the place. And we want you to take your time and come and be a part of every one of these things. We've got some great sponsors in addition to West Rock, and that includes Synovus, Somerville Baptist Church, the Heritage Agency, Page Scranton Attorneys at Law in Columbus, Vance Brooks, and others that will be adding. We're so grateful for this community support, recognizing the value of the arts in the community and in our public school system. But there is nothing like the community coming out to be present and respect the work and the discipline that goes into broadening our children and broadening their educational experience and letting them know that the arts are an important part of their growing up. As I think about those Glee clubs, Miss Pat, I realize that there were football players and baseball players, and the whole community engaged the arts. It wasn't just the folks who only did arts, but those were school-wide events. And I'd like to encourage our students and parents, and perhaps even some grandparents listening today, that students don't need to get bottlenecked in just one area of learning. I got out there and tried athletics as best I could, but there were in my school some great athletes who came into choir and band and made great contributions. So let's not bottleneck ourselves. Let's encourage all the children to broaden their education and to include the arts, the performing arts.
Steve, are we going to have some samples from our culinary arts department that day?
Culinary arts will be there in 2 stations. We'll get some coupons at the door, check in with the desk, and you'll get a couple samples of some wonderful culinary arts thanks to
Chef John
and the good folks over at the bistro. So It's the arts.
Well, Steve, I want to thank you so much for telling me all about this, and y'all please put this on your calendar and come out and support it. One thing I love about Phoenix City, Alabama is the community that we have and how we support each other and we support the children of our community. And CTV Beam is very, very supportive of this, and we're so excited that this is happening. So I want to thank you both for joining us today on Faces and
pleasure.
Places, where we've been talking with Steve Pace and Pat Waltrip about the first Festival of the Arts here for Phoenix City, Alabama, February 1st. We hope we will see you there. So until next time.